All right, so now the next way I'll be showing you guys is something we call string interpolation, like this. String like this, polation. Let me show it in the comments so it doesn't prompt error. So yes, string interpolation. How do we interpolate string? Now let me just remove this whole thing first so that we can start from scratch again, and then let me remove this too so we can start from scratch. So I have a string first name, I have Adiola as a first name, and I have a string. Now let's correct this. Now this is not supposed to be a string, like I said earlier. It's supposed to be an integer, right? Whenever you are talking about age or address, number, those kind of thing, there should be an integer. So my age is 45, my first name is Adiola. So how do we really use this that will actually make sense, right? Now in a sentence, print. Now let's do this. Now my name is, first and foremost, don't do anything, just type first name like this. First name, my name is first name, and I am age years old, right? You've done that. Okay, you put the semicolon. Now we need to do something here. This thing is red, right? The way we interpolate string is that we need to convert this string here, which is the first name and the age in the string, in this print statement, to the variable name that they actually are. And the way we can do that is that we will put an open braces here and a close like this. Then we'll put a dollar sign at the back. Once we do that, let me look for a dollar sign. Can you see it now? Once we do that, this is not a string anymore. This is now this variable name, right? We can do the same thing here. Age, this, then we'll put the dollar sign like this. Perfect. That's all you have to do. When I run this code, I'll get an error, of course. I'll get an error. Of course, I might not get an error, but I should get an error. But I won't get an error. I hope that's clear. So now I won't get an error because I've not done it the proper way, the actual way. Int age is now 45. Then it is now working perfectly. You can see I don't have to use that to string that I wanted to show you earlier. This is now working perfectly, and we don't have to say age will be a string anymore, which doesn't make sense. Age should be an int, which is a number. So this is how to do it. And then there's another way to actually do this thing again. This is not efficient again, which is the third way. And the third way is that instead of writing like this, let me just copy this whole line of code. Instead of doing it like this, I can just choose to do it like this by removing, you see this quote here, you see this curly braces, remove it. Just leave only the dollar. The dollar is enough for you. Remove it, then leave the dollar alone. Then when I save this and I run this, I will get the same answer. I mean, both are the same. But let's see, let's confirm. And that's what I should give you the same answer. But it should, right? Meaning that whether I use the curly braces or not, it should give you the same answer. But the question is, why do I have to do it this way when I know that there's actually a better way? Yes, there's a reason why I did that. And the reason is because when you do like this, you can't really access the type of data type. You can't really access more function that this data type has to offer you. You can see they are the same thing. You can access, for example, now a string can offer you more things, right? And the way you can access those more things is string. For example, now you can see this first name Adiola. You want to access a lot of things, and it's a string. You want to access more things that this first name Adiola can give to me. This string. Now I'll press a full stop after the variable name. Then to pump out a lot of things. I can check whether it is empty. I can check whether it is not empty. I can even check the length of the Adiola. Let me use its length, so that dot length, so that you can see what I'm talking about. If I click on this, so it will tell me the length of characters in this string, and there are a lot of things you can actually get to do also when it's like this. So dot length is empty, is not empty. You can check a lot of things here. But when I don't put the curly braces like this, I can't get to access that. When I press full stop here, nothing happens. Can you see it now? In fact, anything I type here will just be taken as a string as well. I hope that makes sense. So that's the difference between these two. So if you know you want to access the properties, those things are called properties. If you know you want to access properties of a certain string, or you can see my name is 6. Now what does this 6 mean? It means that use Adiola's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 characters. Can you see down? So you can also get to access a lot of things, and that's the joy of this thing. But I don't want to access anything, but you can play around it. Even this int, let me access int. Let me see int. You can say now it's even. I can check whether it's an even number or is an odd number, and some other things like that. There are a lot of things, but don't worry, we'll be using this thing in the next in subsequent classes. Right? So I'll be removing this full stop, right? So we can just have it this way. So you can see now there's another type, right, which is bool. We call it boolean, right? Now bool is only used, I'll clear this whole thing. Please make sure you're writing down if you need to. Bool is used to check whether something is true or false, like I said earlier. First I can say bool is adult. There's something I forgot to tell you guys, right? Equal to false. So I want to check whether adult is false, then I can print is adult as an example, like this, and I can put this at the back. Basically, this might not really make sense to you guys now, but when we start talking about if and else statements, we use bool a lot when you are talking about if and else statement. Though for now, don't really care about this, but there's something I forgot to mention to you guys here. Now whenever we are declaring variable name, please guys, there's a format at which we declare variable name, right? Let me go back to what I've done. You can see false, but that doesn't really matter. Let me go back to what I have here. First name is treated like a single number. I want you guys to see something first. Let me add a plus here, a full stop here. You can see how they did their own. Whenever the number is 2, is empty. There are two words there, is and empty, but you observe that the is starting with a small letter while the empty is starting with a big letter. Look at this one, is not empty. Same thing. Look at this one, all matches. Look at this one, code unit art. The first one is starting with a small letter, other words the starting with a big letter, meaning that we call it camel case. Let me add it as a variable here. Camel case. Whenever you declare a variable, please make sure it's in form of camel case, like this. First name, like this. Like first name, like this. And that one, first name, like this. Please, it's supposed to be like this. That way, it's always improving the way you read your words, right? It's always better that. Sorry, let's go back to where we. It's always better that way. So please, it must be in camel case. We also have Pascal case, but camel case is a case that's used by programmers now because it's always easy for us to actually read whatever it is we want to read. So last concept before we end this class, and the last concept will be let me clear off this. The last concept will be talking about dynamic. Let's talk about that. I have a list of what I'll be teaching today. So let's talk about dynamic. Dynamic, which is of course what I have here. When you declare variable, let's go back. Sorry, I'm going back and forth. All right. So when we declare variable, dynamic, don't ever declare a variable as dynamic, please. And the reason is because when you declare a variable as a certain data type, right, you are Flutter or that is already understanding what you want to do. It's understanding what you want data type to be. For example, now string first name, I know it's a string. When I call it dynamic means I'm not telling it what to take. I'm just telling that it's dynamic, but please take anything I ask you to take. I hope that's understood. You know what, I'll have to extend this class to the next class as well. So see you guys in the next class because the time is going.